Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Chesapeake Chats on the Hallmarkies podcast. I'm your host, Kari, and I have Anne and Kaycee with me.
Woo!
The
We're back.
The gang's all here for the finale episode. We just watched the finale episode, and now we get to talk about it, and we get to talk about season 5. And we were just saying, like, my head is still spinning. My head is still spinning after this.
Thief and Mark.
A lot to download. A lot.
So
Thief and Mark, I have to say, he said
overwhelming.
Yes, be prepared. Be prepared for some, cliffhangers.
Just some.
Thinking, it's fine. It's fine. Not like you're hanging on the cliff. We're just hanging on. I feel like y'all just threw us off the cliff. There was no cliff to hang on to.
That I agree with that. That's my sentiment.
Just tossed us over. I kind of felt a little bit like Oprah Winfrey and from like 2005 or something, where it's like, you get a cliffhanger, you get a cliffhanger, everybody gets a cliffhanger.
It was so many cliffhangers. So many.
So, which is kind of fun because we, of course, want a season 6, but the heartbreak in that is that we're not promised a season 6. We don't know if we're going to get a resolution to some of these stories that we want. So yeah, cautiously optimistic.
It also, this finale kind of reminds me of those old, it's not old because it was during our time, like the 90s family dramas. 90s and 2000s family dramas where on like prime time, like ABC Family, or on the primetime networks, where the cliffhanger was a legit cliffhanger, just like this.
Yes,
not a
but like legitimately big cliffhangers. I agree.
Yes.
It does remind me of that.
And I mean, this has been such a great season. Such a great season. They've taken us so many great places that when I was thinking back to episode 1, I was like, oh my gosh, that feels so long ago. Trace was there.
It feels so long ago.
So long ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
We've covered a lot of ground. We
sure have.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so let's jump in then. Let's jump into episode 10. Which we're so thankful that they had a full season, like full 10 episodes. But this one is called, oh man, what is this even called? This one's called That Old Feeling. And I have to say, it did bring the feelings, like it brought all the feelings. And I kind of want to talk about Kevin and Sarah first, because they had the end of episode 9 was like, is Sarah okay? Is she going to be okay? She fainted, you kind of think, oh no, did something happen to the baby? And we do find out, yes, something did happen to the baby. She lost the baby and she miscarried. So you kind of open with this really gut-wrenching, like, oh no, she lost the baby. And I mean, right away, I'm like, great, this episode.
I know I was too. I was like, oh, this is like so heavy. Really sad.
Yes, it is. It was pretty heart-wrenching because I've been there before, and so it was a little, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little hard to watch. And I mean, like, it's been a very long time since that had happened for me, but watching it on TV and seeing Sarah's emotions and then just seeing it from a bird's eye view was kind of like, oh gosh. I feel like I'm almost like reliving the end of 2012 for me. And so it was I mean, it was beautifully done. And I'm glad that Hallmark allowed them to talk about it. And I'm glad that they allowed for Sarah to struggle with it, because that was me. I didn't want to talk about it. I don't talk about it. Like, this is the first time I'm talking about this publicly. I don't even talk about it with people that I'm close to now, even in my like personal circles. It's not something I just like bring up. But I did empathize with her too, because it's a hard topic to talk about. It's a hard thing to externalize. And especially when you're feeling that certain way and people are kind of like, they're weirded out by it, like they don't know how to handle you, and your spouse is like, just they can't figure out how to how to work with that, because they're also grieving too, but they also didn't carry the baby. It's like there's so many different things that is there. But I will say I appreciated Megan just going to her.
Yes.
Because, and that was the one thing I looked at and I was like, man, I wish somebody would have just like, I wish somebody would have forced themselves on me.
Okay.
Like Megan did with Sarah. Because Megan could have easily been like, okay, here are your muffins.
Right.
Thoughts and prayers, and I don't say that lightly, but like a lot of times people do that. You like kind of get weird about it, but she really opened up on that. And then in that moment with Sarah, everything came full circle with Megan. Because remember how we've all been like, how can you leave your kids? How can you da-da-da-da-da? And there's this underlying tone. And then Barbara Niven had told me that she was going through postpartum depression. And I'm like, okay, Jess was 6 though. So like, I know things happen and stress and hormones and leveling all that out or whatever. But if she had miscarried and then after Jess, so let's say 18 to 3-year gap between Jess and this pregnancy, it makes sense now. It totally makes sense as to why she broke down. I mean, don't leave your kids. I'm not saying it made sense for her to leave her kids, but I can understand her mental state in that situation with everything going on. She lost the baby, her marriage was on the rocks, Mick was working, she had 5 other kids to take care of. She wanted to work, but she was also a mom. Like there's all these struggles that she was facing. And so I don't endorse anybody leaving their family. I can understand where her brain was. And thank you for that, because that's been a big question the last 5 years, is why did Megan really leave?
Right. Yeah, Kaycee, that's, more women go through this than we think. And I too, I lost my 4th baby, and it was very hard. And I thought that this show handled the different grief, different responses to grief very well, because a husband and wife are not going to grieve the same way at the same time. I mean, that's the dream, you wish, but that doesn't happen. And so for her to want to isolate, and for him to want to seek community and seek like go to his parents and tell people and get support that way, that is so real life. That is so real. And then, it just gave Megan the opportunity to seek out her daughter-in-law and share the grief and share her story, which is how we share grief, actually, in life. We share our stories and we share our experiences. And Megan did that very well. And that hug at the end, Sarah and Kevin were just, she just comes up to him and hugs him. And they're going to be okay. And they're going to, it's hard. They're going to grieve together maybe now, but it was very precious and very well done. Sad.
That scene with Mick and Megan and Kevin, like, oh my goodness. Okay, the acting was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And you could just feel everything, especially when Mick and Megan are like, oh my goodness, so exciting. And then they look and then they see Kevin and he's just like trying to hold it together, and then he can't hold it together anymore. And Megan she goes, I mean, like obviously she's mom, but like she goes full on like mom mode right there. And wow.
Yeah.
It was very good acting, like you said, very good scene.
Yeah. Tearjerker, totally, for me. I mean, that brought the emotions and definitely the memories, but just the just the shared grief together. I loved it. I thought it was hard, but I loved it. I thought that that's not what I wanted for Kevin and Sarah, obviously, in their storyline here in the finale. But I mean, what a precious couple to grieve together and to figure it out together. You know, life's not easy. After you get married, it's not an easy road. So I was glad to see it. And it was very well written.
Yeah.
And it goes to prove that you can have married couples in TV shows and it still make wonderful stories. Just throw that out there.
It's very true, Kaycee, because they don't like to do that. So I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
So that was a big heartbreak. And I know, I'm sorry to start the podcast off with that, but that was just kind of heavy on my heart. I was like, let's just talk about this. Let's talk about them as characters. They are strong. They're going to be okay. But it will be something to rejoice over if we get a season 6 and they're able to start a family. So that will be wonderful. But let's talk Abby. Let's talk about this hilarious and giddy Abby that we haven't seen in a long time. She was so giddy. And what did you think about Abby's storyline here? How they finished out Abby in season 5?
I thought it was really great because we started, with her, going through heartbreak, going through just, something really hard with someone she's been on and off with for years. And just how hard it was. So then it's like, now we get to the end of this season and she's like giddy and excited and, feeling all these things for 2 different guys. And it was so good just to see her so like happy and excited and just like, in all her feelings, good feelings. And I was so glad. It was a great thing to see.
I feel the same way. I was really just happy that she had such an episode like this. That was so happy. And did you notice her 2 different reactions to the guys? Like, because 2 of them reveal that they have feelings for her. And with Evan, she's like kind of surprised. And, he always keeps her on her toes. And, she's kind of like, what do I feel about this? And as soon as Jay started to say, hey, I have feelings for you, she kind of preens a little bit and she kind of like she knows that he does. She knows that he does. And she kind of expects it. And she expects that he's going to say, let's give this a chance or something. But it does not go the way that she thought.
Yeah, it didn't go the way I thought. I was like, curveball just went by my face. What? Like I just stared at it go right past me because I was like, this is coming from where? Like
from where? Jay, who is this Cam Matheson?
I know. I had to pause it for a second and did he just say what I thought he just said?
Yeah, literally.
So funny. So he's like, there's this guidance counselor, there's this girl at the school and she's nice and I like her. And he's kind of wondering if he wants to start something with her. And at first I was like, that's coming out of nowhere. But what made sense to me was when Jay's had a crush on Abby for a long time that he's had to table.
Yeah.
He has just had to like wait in the wings, wait for her to get over Trace. And when she sees this perfect moment picture from last year and it's her, I'm like, oh, he's had a crush for a long time. Yeah. He's had to wait for her for a long time. And so for him to say this, is there a chance for me to get out of the friend zone? Or should I pursue this other girl I'm kind of interested in? Like,
that was real.
It was real.
That was so like transparent and real. Like, it's like, I mean, it seemed kind of like a little bit odd, like not the most romantic thing you want to hear about. She's such guidance counselor lady, but it was like, he's like telling the truth. I'm like, you know what? Good for you, Jay.
I mean, Jay finally like kind of saying what he wants, but also standing up for himself a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel like
it's a delicate balance, but
personally, it would be hard for me to be like, oh, okay, yeah, choose me. Because like, if you're already naming someone else that you want to be with,
Yeah.
I kind of, my pride a little bit is like, good luck to you. You know, go for it. Like, see you later.
I love that. I would be thinking the same thing. I can't say I
Mhm.
wouldn't, but it's
Yeah.
Oh, Jay.
But Jay was waiting so long, and like you said, that's what I thought. I'm like, you know what? She has had him on a hook, or
Yeah.
he's had himself on a hook for her for
Yeah.
so long that it makes sense.
Mhm.
By this whole long time, he's developed feelings for someone else. Like that's
Yes.
just
Mhm.
real.
It's gonna happen.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, is this the end of Juice Box J for us? Do you think? Is this the end of did she
Are
blow
we
her
going into
chance?
the end?
I
Are we
don't
going into the
know.
end with who she called? Who we thought she called?
No, not yet, I guess.
Not yet.
So,
Okay.
We can't.
so maybe we'll wait.
Okay, no.
Okay.
We'll wait for
I'll
the
answer that
predictions
later.
afterwards. But okay, so Jay has his moment. Evan has his moment. He's realizing I need to tell this girl. I have feelings for her. He's just hilarious. I mean, the way he wanted to do a grand gesture. Was that grand enough for you, Kaycee? Did you like that grand gesture?
I thought it was sweet. I'm glad he didn't do the rose thing because that would have been while that would have been really sweet for him. It wouldn't have been the right time because she didn't think he had feelings for her at that moment.
Right.
So she would have been like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah. But they both had a chance to process their funny misunderstanding in Pennsylvania. They both had a chance to process it. He was going to revisit it.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, he
And then
was
they went to lunch.
took her to lunch over chili burgers. Is going to tell her how he feels. And I mean, his looks though, he was looking at her so sweet. So sweet.
He was. I really appreciated how he talked through with Mandrake what was appropriate to do, what was not appropriate to do. Like, don't just do something that costs a bunch of money, because she's not going to appreciate that. Like, just do something that shows that you consider her and that you thought about her. And that's what he did. And he didn't have to make some big flash and buy 10,000 roses and stand there and whatever. He just had to pick her up and be there, and then take her to get something to eat. And I like that they showed him think through that. And whoever the wardrobe people are, I appreciate that they like to put Robert Buckley in fun colored jackets that they don't let any other men wear in Hallmark. Because in Love and Store he had like the lavender jacket, and this one he has the pink jacket. It works for him, he does it well, but they don't let anyone else do it. So Robert, you rock it. It's great. We love it.
Yeah.
He pulls off those colors so well. But he, it was funny in that last episode when he was he offered to buy Mick a plane. And he was like, oh man, did I just play the rich man card? And Mandrake was like, yeah, you totally played the rich man card. And so you can see him processing that with Abby. She's not going to appreciate the rich man card. She laughs that off, Oh, and I was thinking of you because you were like, please don't laugh in his face when he was feelings. And she did.
She did. She literally burst out laughing. And I was like, oh, the blow to his ego must be so bad right now.
But he weathered it. He weathered it well.
He did weather it well.
Yeah.
Externally, he weathered it well.
Yeah.
Internally, I'm sure he was shrinking, but externally, he weathered it very well.
Yeah.
Took it in stride.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that I thought was so cute about his interaction over chili burgers was that it's not like he wasn't going to take no for an answer, but he also was not going to take no for an answer. How he's like, hey, there's your two options, but there might be another option. Maybe you can sleep on it. Maybe you can think about it and come back to me, And then the rest of the episode kind of checking in with her. Have you slept on it? Have you given it some thought? And I thought he was very cute about that. He was not pushy about that. Or at
Yeah.
least I didn't think that was pushy. I thought it was very endearing.
Yeah, I thought he did it well. Came across good.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sorry, I keep analyzing this, but I feel like with Evan, I always think, okay, maybe he's good for Abby, maybe that would be fun, but she has kids, like she has a family that she's bringing to the relationship. But every time I am on the brink of thinking that and being like, what are they doing? He actually addresses that issue himself, and he's the one who brought the brownies and made them safe, allergy safe for one of her daughters. And it's just at the right time. I feel like, okay, he's aware that he comes
That's
with
true.
Yeah.
Man,
I think
he's such a
do that well.
Yeah.
He's such a complicated character in the best way possible. Just when you think that you're kind of like, wait, what's going on? And then he just does something really sweet and you're like, oh, okay, I see it. And then he does something a little crazy again. And you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And then you see him.
Coaster.
I know. And then you hear about his background and his family, his mother, and then the story about why Mandrake drives him out. It's just, he's so complicated. And I love it. I'm looking back at the first episode or like the previews, and I was kind of like, well, and then we get introduced to him. I'm kind of like, I don't know.
Right.
He's kind of crazy, but he's I don't know.
Well, here's what I think the writers do so well on the show is that they actually take the audience on a journey with someone, like with Abby. All of us, I felt this. I had to get Jay out of my system. Like I was coming into the season thinking Juicebox Jay was great. He was a great guy. He was a great option. And who is this Evan and how are they going to make that work? But then now here I find myself in the finale totally flipped. And I'm like, oh, maybe Evan is going to work. Maybe this is just the guy she needs. And
because I feel like you said, they've taken us on the journey. So we're like kind of in the same spot as Abby. We're kind of like, is there more to this guy? Oh, there's more in his history than I thought. Oh, but he's just kind of, rich. And then, so it's like we're intrigued and she's intrigued because of all the things that we've learned, by now. And so I really feel like we've been put in her view of him and kind of continuing to get more information and get to know him and be like, there is more than we thought initially.
Totally. Yeah.
Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcasts, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
Talk about this call that she ends up calling someone at the end, leaving a message. Totally the way she called it, I was like, it's Jay. No, it's Evan. No, it's like she was back and forth and how like even she was making this call. Who do you think she called? Who is it going to be?
I think.
Go ahead.
I think she called Jay.
I
really think she called Jay, and here's why.
Why?
Because Evan's endgame. I think that's why. I think that she called Jay because she strung him along so long, and also her tone had somewhat of like a comfort, like it was like almost safe. She felt comfortable with it, like, hey, I was thinking about you too. And I feel like with Evan, Evan is not scary. A relationship with Evan is so out of her norm.
Right.
He's so eccentric and he's so different than she is, but then in this really weird way, they really kind of connect. And so I personally think she called Jay because she kind of, in a sense, owes it to him for kind of dragging it along. And I think in season 6, they would try it out and realize, ooh, we're really just better off as friends. Like, we're too alike to get together. And then
Kaycee's a genius. Kaycee's a genius. She has triangle trauma, and it's helping her because she's a genius right now.
Wait though. What do you mean? Evan said game. He said like he called it a game.
No, he's
end game.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
he's gonna end up with her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's end game,
Yeah.
but this is like keep the show going, keep the season
On the way to the end game. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
end game.
Jay's just a stop.
Yeah. No. Because you have, and the thing is though, like, they have to build up the tension even more so that we are pushing for Evan and Abby to get together. Because right now, if she calls him, that's it. It's like,
that's true.
Okay, and then are we
not enough build up? Yeah.
Yeah, there's not. And then are we gonna have this whole like, oh, we're together, and then it's back to Trace and Abby again, and then you have these like weird fights where they're like this and that and that and that and that. I feel like for Abby, it would make more sense for her to try, like, to date Jay to see if that's really who she likes, because she has feelings for him too in some sort of a way. And she kind of almost, I feel like she thinks she almost owes it to him because she got all dolled up for their date and everything.
You are blowing my mind.
I know. Think it's gonna end up with. I don't think she's gonna end up with Jay. I think
you're totally right. I think you're so right. I really do. And I was gonna say Evan, but for all those reasons you just said, that is why it's gonna be Jay. Because you're right. Because one time I actually made a list of this because that's how obsessive I am about these things. I'm like, how many times has the person picked a different person and gone back to the other person? It's literally like 2 out of 10. It's like never happens, except on Dawson's Creek. It's like what a major example I can think of. But that never happens. They always, pick the safe choice and then pick the end game. That's usually what happens.
Wow. I mean,
we don't know, but Kaycee is right here.
Full House. In Full House, DJ and Steve are together, and then they break up, and then she dates what's his name, the rich guy, and Viper. What is this? Viper and the rich kid, and then she ends up with Steve, and then in Fuller House it's Steve and Matt, and then she like ends up with Steve again. Like, oh my word! But you have to have this journey in order to extend the story. Not that we want to drag it out, but like if she calls Evan, like, that's it.
He's literally only been in this one season. Like, it needs to go longer. I agree with
And you know what? Give Evan a girlfriend. Listen, give Evan a girlfriend.
I want to see jealous Abby.
Jealous.
Oh yeah. Let me see that.
Bring it. Yeah.
Hey, jealous Abby.
Keep him around. Oh no, I feel like he would just pour himself back into work and not, like, if Abby's the one for him, he's gonna like keep her the one for him and not mess around with
But see, we can go deeper with Evan. He could get really hurt and he can just throw himself into work, but then he meets some really nice young lady and they start dating, and then there's jealousy, and
it's gonna be Cam Matheson, I bet. No, I'm kidding. So I think she called Evan, but I mean, you definitely have a good, strong argument. I even wonder, having talked to Fief Sutton, they they probably have a good idea who it was, but sometimes he kind of alluded to the fact that they don't really know the cliffhangers, you know, like which way the cliffhangers are going to go when they write them. They don't really know. But so I'd be so curious. I do think it's Evan because, oh man, now I've lost all my train of thought because of your great arguments.
I know. She made such a good argument.
You want to hire me?
I'll just go on the record.
I know. Yeah, hire Kaycee.
Yeah, I'll just go on the record for saying Evan because you said Jay. Like, how about that? Like, I have no great thoughts. No great arguments.
Well, what would you have said? Like, what were your initial thoughts though? Like,
well, I thought that you know, I admitted that my pride was stung that he had someone else waiting in the wings, Jay, you know, and you know, probably because that happened to me in 6th grade. Honestly, Aaron said, Kari, if you don't like me, I know who I'm going to like next.
Oh my God. No wonder some trauma.
My 12-year-old heart was like broken, but I was like, said exactly that. You are free to go write notes with Charity. I don't know what you're going to do, but so when he said that, I was like, oh, that's never good, because then you're always worried about her. You're always thinking about, you know, like her, whatever. So regardless of him mentioning someone else, I thought Evan just handled himself so well this episode. He was romantic, he was kind, he was straightforward, he was fun about it. Like he presented himself really well. Like, let's start something. This could be fun. We can go to dinner. We won't talk work. We're just going to talk. You know, like it wasn't like, let's get married, but it was just like, let's hang out. What do you say? And I thought she would be into that.
Kari makes some good has some good stuff
That's
to
true.
say too, because that's what I was thinking, was that before Kaycee had said that, I was thinking, what did I just lost my train of thought? That, you know, Jay was like, oh, I got this woman in the wings, you know, that would bother me. So that's what I was thinking. Okay, she must be going to call Evan because she feels kind of stung that he already has this person that he's going to go ask on a date tomorrow if I say no now. So yeah.
This is very, very fun, very interesting to me. This is why we need a season 6, people. Like
season 6 for the story.
We need to know.
We are invested in these characters' lives, and we need to know how they continue. This okay, well, moving on to Jess and David. Jess has a great episode.
Yes.
And honestly, this is one that I have been wanting closure for her and Megan so badly.
Me too.
Yeah.
And they get it. So obviously it's propelled by the announcement that Megan and Mick are wanting to go travel together. And people are kind of shocked, kind of okay with it, but kind of mostly shocked. And she just can't stop crying. She just can't stop crying on the porch and patio. And Megan comes out and talks with her. And I kind of just love that line. You know, she's crying and she's like, why couldn't you have done this 20 years ago? You know, like, why now? Why not 20 years ago? And that just broke my heart for them. But I don't know.
I can totally, not that I've been there, but when she said that, especially from a 6-year-old's point of view, and because she thought it was her fault. Yeah, I could totally understand her just thinking that, like, I'm so glad this is happening now, but why couldn't it be 20 years ago when I was a kid, so you could both be here? You know, that's what she did. That's what she didn't say, but you know, we know what was in her mind and in her heart. And I was like, I just can see saying that.
Yeah. Especially feeling cheated.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say, especially after feeling cheated because Abby had her mom for like 16 years or whatever. And she only had it for 6 because she's the baby. And even Brie would have had more time or whatever with Megan and more memories too.
Right. I do feel like she was at such a healthy place to process this, though. Other seasons in the past, she has like shut it down. I don't want to talk about it. I'm not calling mom. I'm not talking about her, you know. And this one, she like wanted to talk about it, wanted to process. And of course, the way she did that was an email at 3 a.m.
Never send emails at 3 a.m, people.
Yeah, don't do it. Take David's advice. Make a draft, only
Yes.
a draft. Go to sleep.
He
Read
was
the draft, edit.
He was so funny in that scene. He was like, do not send it. Yep, write it, save it, don't send it. And like,
Because he knows Jess. He knows.
Yeah.
it's like, I'll see you in the morning and you will not have sent it, you know. But sure enough, she did. She did send it. And you know, her reaction was a little, she was nervous for her mom to read it, but it also didn't feel like, it wasn't this horrible email. It didn't seem like, it just was honest. That's what the reaction seemed from David, even from Megan and Jess. All they were kind of like, all this stuff that has to be said, but it's out there now. It's not like horrible, but it's honest, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was okay.
Yeah. She probably rabbit trailed. Probably what happened. She probably had the intentions of being like, okay, just remember these few little things, and then, you know, it's okay, I forgive you. But then it probably just snowballed. And we never really got there because it's Jess and her mind just goes whoo all over the place when it comes to these things. But I'm glad that Megan did read it so gracefully.
Yeah.
And I think it helped that I was so scared she had already read it. Because I'm like,
I was too.
We made so much progress, you know.
Yeah.
So I think just going to her and, you know, telling her like, listen, I sent you this email and I didn't mean what I said, and and then Megan's like, I didn't read it, but I need to.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think because Jess had prefaced it, it was easier for Megan to digest, and it wasn't as hurtful. I mean, it still hurt, I'm sure, but it wasn't as she could understand it a little more.
Yeah.
Like her daughter's not attacking her. Her daughter's just processing this out.
Yeah. And she said, I forgot to say one thing. You know, I forgot to say something at the end. I love you. And that was really, really sweet and just so heartwarming. And you've wanted that for them for so many seasons. And I was really happy to see Jess's tenderness towards her mom and her love for her. Because we know love can make you, I mean, when you're hurt, you can get so angry, but you still have love there. But now she's at this place where she can give that love to her mom from a whole. She's a little bit more whole, you know, and she's forgiven her and stuff. So anyway, I thought that was really, really a great way to end season 5. And I'm so thankful for that, you know, that it's not just hanging over our heads anymore.
Yeah, me too. I was really glad to get that closure of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
But what's interesting is while Jess gets closure on her parents, David has no closure on his parents.
Right.
Yeah. Flipped there.
Mr. Peck, I mean, we know David. We know it's never been about the money for David. It's not that he's mad that his dad mishandled the family business and now cleared out David's trust fund, like totally cleared it out and left the country. Like, it's not about the money. I think it's just the hurt and the betrayal that his dad did, like, was not as good of a dad as he thought, maybe, you know, like he wasn't really even a good dad, but at least he was a good, you know, businessman.
See,
You think it's about the money?
No. I don't think it's about the money.
Crazy.
No. David's never about the money. Like,
no.
He was happy to be Justice Free cook for like a whole season and a half or more. I see. Let's about Mr. Peck. Mr. Peck is being set up by somebody. or he got himself stuck in a situation because he told his son, don't believe everything you hear. Click.
Yes.
And I almost wonder if he drained the trust fund to protect
Them.
David.
Yeah, that could be.
Because Mr. Peck never seemed like a malicious person.
Yeah.
He was just, sometimes people in that state, they get so, it's okay, money covers everything, it's fine. So it's almost that mentality of like, because I have all this money, I don't really have to think, I can just like sign it off to other people. Oh, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
Right.
But then they get involved in something or a scheme, or somebody like, you know, sets them up in a way that it looks like they were embezzling, or you know, misappropriation of funds or whatever. And so I don't know, I feel like for Mr. Peck, he is probably really ashamed, really scared, and I feel like he's the type of person to just run in order to protect his family. At least in his mind, he's protecting them. But by withholding the information, he's hurting them.
Well, that would help me like him better, because he wanted David to take over the family business. And if that were the case, he was just setting his son up for the fallout and the failure and the prison sentence or whatever. So that doesn't sit well with me. But I do wonder if David and Jess are vulnerable because they didn't sign this prenup. I mean, what happened with the prenup? And the mom's like, you got to protect yourself. And we were like, she means them. She means they want to protect their money, but she was talking to Jess. So I don't know. I don't know all the ins and outs of prenups, but
I don't either.
Definitely was a little afraid for the eagle at end point. I'm like, they better not lose that.
I know. They worked really hard for several seasons to bring it up to where it is.
Interesting.
I'm interested to learn more about that. Like what exactly happened, how did the money get, tied up into what, and
right. Right. But he was like crying. He totally had tears in his eyes, and he said something like, I knew, or did he say, I knew he would do it, or I can't believe he would do it? I forget what he said, but he's basically like, he almost wasn't surprised that his bank account was cleared out. Or his trust fund, not his,
Well, because even after he called him, didn't he start calling him back then?
Yes.
And he wouldn't answer.
Right.
Even after the first time, before he even knew about this, he was trying to call him back and he wouldn't answer. And so he knew like something, which is I think why he was like, Jess, like something's really wrong. Like my dad just called me. He said this. He said he loved me, and he just hung up. And now like he won't answer the phone.
Like what's he supposed to think? What's he supposed to think? All the bad things.
And that's the other reason why when he called, he seemed very genuine, and he even told his son, I love you. If he were really trying to hurt his son and take all his money and stuff, he wouldn't have called. He would have just taken it and run, honestly.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. Well, like we keep saying, the only true villain in season 5 of Chesapeake Shores has been Mr. Sullivan. I mean, that really has been the only true villain. Anyone else, it's been a misunderstanding. It's been a, let's talk it through, that type of thing. So that you have a good theory there. A pretty good one. Let's move on. Let's talk about Mick and Megan. Mick and Megan.
Ooh, that did not end the way I thought it was going to.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
What?
I thought they were ready for, a second chance, like totally, not necessarily happily ever after. I mean, they have been divorced for 17 years and they need to work some things through, but like, man alive, like she is put in the same position. Now I feel for Megan, actually, because she at 17 years ago, she chose a career over her family, even when she got better. And the kid said, why didn't you come back even when you got better? And she said, you know, everything was different now. You know, you guys were in a different place. You were in a good place, I thought. And she was also in a good place. She chose this career over her family at a cost. And now she's in a place where she's trying to choose her family over her career. It will come with a cost, but it's like, no one's letting her. Like, why aren't we letting her choose her family now and make up for lost time? Like, I kind of just, there were parts of me that didn't understand Mick's reaction. Like, why are you pushing her away?
Yeah.
He was so afraid. I think he's so afraid because she did leave and she didn't come back for so long. And now he's like, you need to be sure.
Right.
Because I think he's so scared of being hurt. I think that's where the root of it is he's so scared of being hurt. He's like, make sure you're sure. And then that's what he says. Like, I can't trust you not to leave me again, because I think it's out of fear. And, you know, I have been in a place, you know, where not the same place as him, but I've been in a place where I've reacted like that out of fear because I'm scared of being hurt. So I guess I could relate to that's where he was coming from with that. But just out of just fear of the pain and the hurt that could come if she does it again. He's just, I think he's afraid. Yeah.
It's a great
and on your point too, it could also be the fact that he's thinking he can't tell her whether to stay or to go, because he can't tell her to stay, because if he tells her to stay, then is she going to just turn around 5 years from now and say, you remember that I could have had this position and da da da, and you made me stay here and all this stuff and whatever. And so he's almost overcompensating.
Yeah. That's true. It's very true.
Yeah. I don't like those situations where, you know, you're kind of like, this is going to work perfectly. I can have it all this way. I can go there and work, you know, for a year, and then they're going to give me 6 months and we can have 6 months. But it's after she already had chosen this dream, and now to be with this Carter Milburn guy who like Mick is totally suspicious of. I mean, the whole thing was just like, no, Megan. Again with the hard choices in her family.
I know. I did feel for her that it's a very hard choice.
Yeah.
I did really feel for her for that.
Yeah. So one thing I need to address with you guys, what is Mick doing? Is he taking pain meds? Is he taking too many? Or is he...
I know they keep showing it so conspicuously, so it must be that something's with that, but I don't really know what.
Everybody's taking medicine.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Why is everybody taking so much medicine, having so many health problems? I'm like, geez.
Don't take the medicine. Don't take extra medicine. I mean, honestly, I was like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. And then he reached for the bottle again and took another pain med. I was like, okay, either his injury is worse than he's letting on, or we're starting an addiction to pain meds. I don't know. It doesn't seem like Mick.
I know.
Maybe it is. So
that one it had me completely baffled. I don't even know. Don't even have any theories on that.
I know. Well, there's the cliffhanger for Mick and Megan. You know, is she gonna do this? Is she not? Is his health okay? What is going on with them? I was bummed that they had such a cliffhanger, because I'm ready for them to have a happily ever after. But I do remember Fief Sutton saying in our interview, you know, they've got things to work through. Like, they've been divorced for a long time. They've got things to work through. And I was like, what are you going to do to them?
What are you saying that you're not saying? Yeah.
Right. What are you going to do to them?
Right.
So this definitely was part of that. All right. Let's talk about Brie. Brie, who started the season coming home from London. She needed to find her place in Chesapeake Shores again. She found it with this creative writing job. And she just, I think, over the season really anchored herself to Chesapeake Shores. And she just was a pure support in this last episode to Abby, to, I don't know, Luke to even to Connor. Like she just was really steady. She was such a steady Eddie in this episode. What did you guys think about Brie?
I agree. She was a really great supportive friend, sister. I mean, I was surprised. I don't want to say nothing much happened with Brie.
Yeah,
it was
true.
almost a good thing that nothing really bad happened to Brie.
Yeah, she was saved, because if anything big would have happened to her, it was going to be bad. So she got saved because nothing big did happen to her. So.
Right.
Right.
She was looked over.
Some O'Brien has to be like steady and like
be okay.
Talking to, and that just ended up being Brie these last couple episodes, I think, actually. So she,
such a middle child type of peacemaker. Like,
totally.
She is.
How about it was the two middle children, Connor and Brie, who came to mom and dad after their big announcement that they're going to travel. And they were like, we're sorry. We're happy for you. We're sorry. And I just sat there going, I know that move. That's a middle child move. I know that. I've done that.
But that was great for Connor to do that, because he and Megan hadn't always seen eye to eye really until this season, like maybe the last couple seasons. And I think they really bonded this season.
I think they did. So let's talk about Connor. I think he might be the last little storyline that we have, unless I'm missing someone. Luke, but we'll talk about Luke along with Connor here. Connor.
I was a little sad we didn't get a courtroom scene. I was ready for them to
lay it off. Yeah. I could have done with at least 60 seconds of courtroom. I could have,
we know that it's for time, and we already saw him in the courtroom, but man, I was really ready for him to just stick it to the judge in defense of Luke. I was here for it, and then they come dancing on out. I'm like, wait, what?
We wanted a little piece of it.
You already won the court case. I knew you were gonna. I just wanted to see you do it. But...
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm with you there, but I have to say I'm still a little speechless about Connor and Margaret. I wanted them.
Those kisses. Whoa. I'm like, is this Hallmark? Is this getting hot in here? Whoa.
Girl, I know.
Totally.
I know.
I was like, especially the first one. I was like, where is this going? Okay, as somebody cut scene, like, whoa. Cut scene.
No. The funny thing was when she was like, well, how else would you relax? You can't do this, you can't do that. How else would you relax? And I was like, this is Hallmark. This is Hallmark. We're not gonna kiss. We're not gonna do anything like that right now, because this is Hallmark and stuff. No. We had a nice, relaxing, stress-free makeout session on the office couch is what we did.
With the appetizer being mini s'mores, which was really cute. I love that. That was
so sweet. So sweet. Yeah. No, I was not expecting that. I was like, oh, so cute. Oh, they're gonna kiss. And then I'm like, oh,
whoa, they're gonna kiss, and keep kissing.
They did have crackling chemistry ever since she came back to him and back and started working at his office. You kind of saw them dancing around that a little bit, and they kept things professional. She was helping him though de-stress, and I feel like that was a little line crossed, a little line crossed, a little line crossed, and finally they just look into each other's eyes and just can't deny it anymore, and they just kiss.
But this is the first girl that he's had real chemistry with. Connor, I'm speaking of. Like, I didn't feel it with his other girlfriend.
Yeah, Danielle. Yeah.
I just, but
Danielle was really forward. She was really forward, and so I never knew if it was Connor's choice. I knew it was him.
Yeah.
But this one was woo. I've loved these two from the beginning.
Yeah.
They just have that. There's just magic between these two characters. And
Yeah.
you have this like, oh, okay, we here, and then all of a sudden, like, sparks
Right.
fly, and then a spark just turned into a firework.
Oh yeah, a big firework.
It did. It turned into fireworks, and she's just so thoughtful. She's very good at her job. They are going to be a dynamic couple together. I think they're going to be very
Yeah.
good. She's going to be so good with his family. She came
Yes.
at the end of the episode. You know, she had
Yeah.
recreated this mini campfire scene to relax him in the office. But then she came to, she was like, I just had to see what one of these O'Brien campfires was all about. And, you know, all of a sudden they're in each other's arms again. And I was like,
Whoa, here we go. Number 2 makeout scene. All right.
Connor and Margaret, they like kiss first, ask questions later. You know, he's like, what are you doing here? Like, after they kissed. So fun though. Really,
It
really
was.
fun. Until
But a high to a severe low. Wow.
And this is where we all got shoved off the Chesapeake shore.
Yes,
cliff.
they threw us off. That was when they really just threw us into the Chesapeake Bay or whatever it is.
you guys,
Like, what is
expecting that.
happening?
oh my word, Mick and Megan just had a conversation around this campfire that he was like, I can't really trust you not to leave me again. Abby just called. She's sitting with Brie on the bench, and Abby just called and left a message to someone that we don't know who it was. Who else was there? I mean, who else was there? I feel like Jess and
I think
David
that was it.
weren't there.
They weren't there
Yeah.
yet. No.
They showed
No.
them at their house when he told her.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Jess
Kevin and Sarah were not
At
there
the end.
either.
Yeah.
Connor. Oh, yeah. Kevin and Sarah. No, they were at their house. So Connor goes and like hugs Margaret, kisses Margaret. What are you doing here? This is so fun. Oh my goodness. All of a sudden, she screams that
He
Connor's
falls to the ground. Yeah.
He falls to the ground. She screams. Did my recording cut out at that time? I did not see him fall to the ground.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he fell to the ground and then they all came.
Yeah.
She's like,
Well,
help,
okay.
help.
I saw that, like they
I
were
saw that, okay.
kissing, and he
Yeah.
was like, wow, this you know, great kiss or whatever. And then and then I just heard her scream, help,
Mm.
Connor's having a heart attack or something.
Yeah. She said,
Right.
Mr. O'Brien, Connor's having a heart attack. Yeah, and they all came with,
You guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
yeah. And the frantic looks on everybody's faces. Cause I think I want to say you saw a shot of the sisters too. Brie and Abby. Cause it's like, they went like this and then they, didn't that happen?
Okay,
Am I
no,
making this up?
must have
Yeah.
done
And
Not
then
on my TV.
Mick and Megan as well. They also just like freaked
Oh.
out and just started, and he's on the ground and they're freaking out. They're like, somebody call 911. They're Chesapeake Shores emergency services or whatever.
Yeah.
That was so
Oh,
crazy. I couldn't believe it, actually. And I think he's young, he's starting a new business, he's a lawyer, he's stressed, you know, I get it. But I mean, it's got to be something else.
it's got to be something else. It's got to be
Yeah.
some underlying condition. Because
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
he only had like the one case.
oh, poor guy. He just like
Yeah.
has slowly deteriorated over these past couple episodes. And then now he's like totally
Yeah.
under cardiac arrest. I mean, I feel like it's something else. So yikes, Connor, my guy, my love of season 5. I mean, his was the storyline that I loved his storyline.
Yeah.
Same.
Mm,
Same.
bless
Same.
his heart.
Goodness. Andrew Francis, you still want to come on the podcast and talk about this with
Guys, this is intense.
We need him. That would be so good. I would love to get him on the podcast.
We need
Um,
Andrew Francis.
That'd be- So, okay, so that was the cliffhanger. Cliffhangers for everybody. Season 5 is done. What we could talk about how we feel about season 5, but I mean, this just I feel like this propels us into what would we see in season 6 if we got one? What would you
A whole lot.
A lot. There's a lot that we need to see.
Yes.
Yeah.
We need to see who Abby chooses, what happens to Connor, what's wrong with him.
Right. I mean, honestly, to me, this derails any plans for Megan to go to LA. This derails any plans for her and Mick to travel. Like, I feel like they're home now. I mean, they're home now. They need to figure out Connor's stuff.
Yeah. I would love to see Connor be like, that's the catalyst for everybody really coming together.
Yeah.
Especially Mick and Megan in particularly.
Yeah.
That would be good. I would like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, those are really the two things that I feel like, oh my gosh, we need to see that in season 6. So hopefully we get one. We keep saying that, but hopefully we get one.
So we could get some answers.
You guys, overall, hasn't season 5 just been so much fun? Like,
so fun. Yeah.
So fun. You know, I was not gonna give this a shot because I was kind of like, oh, I gave it a shot season 3, season 4. I'm like, okay. And then when Rachel put in our group chat, hey Kaycee, you're covering Chesapeake Shores, and I was like, is this punishment? What did I do to you? But you know what? I'm really glad I did. And you know, part of it was also because I knew that we had new writers, new showrunners. I love the cast. I had always said in past seasons, you have a dynamic cast, but the storylines were always weak to me. But this has made up for the weak storylines.
Yes.
We have elevated Chesapeake Shores. We've elevated the depthness to the characters. We've closed out on things that should have been closed out, frankly, a few years ago, like with Megan and Jess and their relationship, with Abby moving forward, and with that and Trace, and just all these things. I mean, with 10 episodes and so many characters too, because this is a full cast. This isn't just like, oh, it's the Abby show.
Right.
It's an entire family of O'Briens and their significant others and friends and whatnot. And so, like, they really brought it. This is by far, and I've told people this, I said, because there are some people out there that are like, I'm not sure. Yeah. Like, no, you need to watch season 5. You need to just
it's like
need to watch season 5.
I think it's the best season.
It is.
I think it's hands down the best season of this show.
Yes. Because every single character, like you said, every single character storyline was elevated, and it really made these characters shine. They are going through something real, something deep, but also fun. Like, they're fun characters to watch, and what they bring to the family even is really fun to watch. And I am just loving Chesapeake Shores right now. I mean, it is a really great show and totally the best season. Totally.
And I will say, not to stroke any egos or anything, but of the 3 Hallmark shows, this one was the best this year.
Of the series,
of the 3 series, this one was the best one this year.
Yeah.
Like, by a lot.
I know. And there's reasons. There's reasons for that. But I think this one was just so strong. The writing was so strong. The we wanted to root for it, and I feel like it tapped into that, desire for us. Like, we want to like a series here on Hallmark Channel and support good TV.
Yeah.
And we were able to.
Yes. So
writers. So well done.
Good job.
Well done.
Very good. Very good.
Well done, Chesapeake Shores, and the writers and the actors and actresses and producers and makeup people and hair people. I mean, the bangs like just really made it this season. Everybody did such a great job. So thank you for giving us great TV and great show. We love it. And we root for season 6. We totally want that. We want it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I totally hope. I'd hope. We're cautiously optimistic, but I hope that. Well, thank you to everyone who listened to Chesapeake Chats, even our podcast, just recapping the episodes. I hope you enjoyed the season just like we did. We definitely want to hear from you. We always want to hear from you guys, whether it's in a comment section here on YouTube or a review on iTunes, or if it's reaching out to one of us personally, like, and where can people find you if they want to talk with you about Chesapeake Chats?
Oh, yes. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at awscott21.
What about you, Kaycee?
You can find me on Twitter at Hallmark My Words.
All right. And definitely, as you know, come over to Instagram and find me at Hallmark Comics. And I'd love to interact with you there. Follow Hallmarkies podcast all over social media. We work hard to give you great Hallmark content. So be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I don't know,
Everywhere.
our website, everywhere. Yeah, we love it. So hopefully we'll see you back for more Chesapeake Chats on season 6. That is our hope and our dream.
Fingers crossed.
Woohoo! Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Bye-bye.